Hi, Twin.
Wait. I want to pet it. It's the campus. Hi, Kate.
We're at UCLA right now, and we're going to do a 73 questions. So who are you?
My name is Tuyen. I'm studying cognitive science here, hoping to go into marketing and tech.
Cool. What are your passions?
Passions outside of school, I think I would say I'm really passionate about baking. I love going to concerts and music festivals, and I'm also really passionate about like the education system in America.
Nice. Do you mind showing us your favorite parts of UCLA?
No, I don't mind. But this is Haynes Hall. And over here we have Powell Library, and these are like the four main like original buildings at UCLA. And so these are the original ones that have been around for like over 100 years. And that is Royce Hall, which I think is like probably the most iconic part of UCLA. Like if you search it up on Google, it's just this building.
If you get only one song to describe your college experience, what would you choose?
UCLA by Earl Grime.
Very original. What's your absolute favorite thing about UCLA?
The people. I think the people make up the experience.
Are there any UCLA stereotypes that hold true?
Yes, I think everybody here is known to be very, very smart, and that is also very, very true.
Is this your favorite place on campus?
I would say so, yeah. And then over there on Jen Steps is also one of my favorite spots as well.
So you currently are a fourth year, but when you were in your first year, what was the best dining hall on campus?
I would say Feast. It's a very controversial question, but Feast is because it reminds me of home. It's more Asian based.
Ah, so rate the dining hall experience from 1 to 10.
Solid 9. I
Okay.
think, yeah, solid 9.
What's a go-to place for late night snacks?
Late night.
Late night. What clubs are you involved in?
So on campus, I'm in Bruin Women in Business. Creative Labs, which is this entrepreneurship / like startup club.
Oh, wow.
And I'm also part of AKSI, which is a business.
Wow. And who's your ride or die on campus?
I feel like my housemates are my ride or die on campus.
That's good. Is there Greek life on campus?
Yes, we have frat row and sorority row, and all the houses are amazing.
If you had to guess, what would you say would be the percentage of students involved in Greek life?
I think because I'm in a frat, it might be a little skewed. But with that in mind, I think maybe like 30%?
Well, this is kind of obvious, but are you in a frat?
Yes. Just kidding, no, I'm not. I'm kidding, yes I am.
If you're not in one, do you experience FOMO?
I feel like you can definitely find like your own group of friends if
Yeah.
you're not in a frat, but I think being in a frat definitely.
Do more people party on campus or apartments in the city?
Definitely off campus, just because all the houses and apartments are like walking distance, so it's a lot easier to like go to the parties.
I see. How often do people go out a week?
Before quarantine, I would say very, very often because the nightlife is insane. I would say probably twice a week.
And what's the typical UCLA outfit?
Probably like a UCLA sweatshirt or
You guys
some
got a
jeans,
rep?
leggings. Yeah, I got a rep.
Which celebrities have you seen?
Okay, so I haven't seen any celebrities because I was too busy studying, but I know Justin Bieber came here to play tennis.
Oh, wow.
David Dobrik was here for a little bit, and I know The Weeknd visits campus pretty often.
Nice. How late do your parties run until?
I think like typical, like 2, 3.
If your school would be an alcohol, would it be a scotch, fine wine, or tequila?
It would be a Four Loko.
Nice. Are your libraries open 24/7?
I actually don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen any celebrities because I was too busy studying.
Okay. How many libraries are in campus?
I think the two biggest ones are Powell and Young Research Library.
Are they social or silent libraries?
It depends on which floor you're in, I believe. And you can also rent out rooms, so that's pretty cool as well.
What's your favorite place to study on campus?
Ooh, back when I was still in the dorms, my favorite place would be like the lounges under each dorm.
Ah, what's your typical class size?
I think the bigger ones are definitely around like 300 to 200, but if you're in a discussion, for example, it would be around 20 to 30 kids.
Wow. How many hours of homework do you do a day?
Now, not anymore because I'm a senior, but I think
Watch
back
out
when I
for
was
steps.
still taking my like CS classes, it was definitely like a decent amount of hours. Probably like 6 hours every day, maybe. Give or
Oh my
take.
goodness. And with that, how many hours of sleep do you get?
Before, it was probably like 5 to 6, but then now I get a decent like 10 hours a night.
What's the best tip for managing your social life?
I think not to get too fixated on one thing at a time. Remember to give yourself breaks and then like work hard, play hard type of mentality.
From 1 to 10, how attractive is your student life?
I would give it like a 7, 8.
Hookups or relationships, what's the dating culture like?
I've never downloaded like a dating app, but I know definitely it's really popular on campus. So I'm pretty sure it's more like hookup culture.
I see. Which athletic team has the most clout?
Okay, so my perspective is very skewed because I don't know anything about athletics. But I think the gymnastics team probably has the most clout because of Simon Cowell.
How much do you walk a day?
Before?
Before.
A lot, because campus is really big, but now since I'm stuck in my apartment, not that much.
And how often do you take an Uber or Lyft?
Back before quarantine, very often, just because it's the easiest way to get around.
I see. Does everyone use scooters, bikes, or an alternate mode of transportation?
I would say most of the UCLA population just walks, but I've definitely used the scooters on campus and they're really fun.
How athletic would you rank your school from Olympian to part-time couch potato?
Olympian.
What's a typical temperature during the winter?
Probably 70 degrees, so that's really cold for Californians.
Is there an article of clothing that you see everyone on your campus wear?
Yes, something that's UCLA logoed, for sure.
Gotta get the school spirit. What's an essential item to bring to your campus when moving in?
An essential item? Ooh, I don't know, probably a hydro flask.
How often do you leave campus?
I used to leave campus pretty often just to get food with my friends, but now not that often.
What year do people usually move to live off campus?
The third year.
How close is the nearest airport?
LAX, probably 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
Okay, fill in the blank. If I had known blank about my school, I would not have chosen it.
I don't think there's anything.
Nice. I was curious about that question. What's the most embarrassing thing you've seen somebody do on campus?
There's a lot of hills on campus, and so I've seen people
no.
like ride their skateboards down and then like fall off, and I think that's pretty embarrassing.
Who is your favorite alumni?
My favorite alumni, probably my big.
How often do you see the president of UCLA?
I actually haven't seen him. I think, or the chancellor, we coined him Daddy Gene, but I haven't seen him yet. You want to sit down?
Sure. Okay, so you did say that not all socioeconomic classes were represented. Expand on that.
I think, let's say for example, like a student needs to do work, or has to go to like work study to kind of make up all their student loans and everything. The student that doesn't have to go to work, like while being a full-time student, they have more opportunities to recruit, to make connections and build relationships on campus, and in the end I feel like that's extremely beneficial. Whereas the student that has to do work study, they won't have as much time to like build these relationships or afford to be in a fraternity. And so they're spending so much time studying and not actually like kind of building their connection and growing themselves professionally. And I think that's one of the reasons why like in all college campuses I think is like a struggle that we need to kind of fix.
Reeling back to less of a serious topic, do you think you've met a future millionaire?
I've met several millionaires currently, but yes, 100% for sure I've met a couple future millionaires.
Wow. Is your school academically competitive, or do you help each other out?
I would say it's pretty competitive, but I'm very fortunate to have met really like nice individuals who are down to help me out when I need it.
Do the majority of the kids on campus want to change the world or just be rich?
I think a decent amount of them do genuinely want to change the world, but I would also say a good portion of them also just want to be rich.
Do most graduates leave with jobs?
I think my perspective is very skewed just because I'm in a fraternity, so most of my friends, my close friends, all leave with jobs, but I know it's very normal for them like not to have a job coming out of campus.
If you can change one thing about your school, what would you change?
I would change how administration handles conflicts, especially how they handled COVID. I feel like it was done very poorly, and yeah, I wish they would.
Do a lot of people come to your games?
Yeah, 100%.
So, number one tip here for success at UCLA?
Make connections.
UCLA is in LA. How do you like the location?
I I love it. I really appreciate the weather and just the people and the city in itself. It's really fast, but I think it's a good place.
Is your school cliquey?
Yes, to some degree.
Uh-huh. And why do you say that?
I think kind of like the frats hang out with frat kids, athletics hangs out with each other. So from my perspective,
Is your campus super diverse?
I would say so. Yeah, there's a good amount of like different ethnicities, different cultures, different backgrounds, and I would say like transfers also make up 30% of it. So
Describe the best party you've ever been to.
the best day I've ever been to was probably my friend's party because he's also in a frat, and so they threw him a party, and we're at the rooftop overlooking the entire city.
That is cute. Do you think UCLA is the best university?
Yes.
Do you think everyone watching this video should apply to UCLA?
Yes, 100%.
And do you need a car at UCLA? Do many people have a car?
I think the upperclassmen have a car, but you don't really need a car. I think everybody Ubers, so if you do come here, it should be fine.
Alrighty. What's the closest beach to UCLA?
Santa Monica.
Do you think UCLA is the best university?
I would say so objectively, like not even as a UCLA student, but I'm very happy I'm here.
Alright. That's the 73 questions. Thanks, Twin.
Thanks, Caitlyn.
Thanks for showing us around.